So I first saw Jaws, I don't even remember how old I was. I saw it on my grandpa's HBO, because Jaws came out in 75 and I was born in 74, so I was obviously too young to see it. But yeah, I saw it on HBO, and I remember I had built a boat in the living room. I took like a bunch of kitchen chairs and I sat them on the side and fashioned them like a boat. And I had like a broom handle as a spear, you know. I was ready for that shark to come at me, man. It was the most amazing thing I had ever seen. Like, I probably the greatest thing I've seen since Star Wars, anyway. But I've also been watching a new print of Jaws I ordered. That's right, it's finally on 4K with a new 7.1 surround mix. I'll leave a link to it in the description. There's literally no point in me actually reviewing this 4K UHD. If you don't already know, this is one of my top 10 favorite movies ever. What fascinates me about Jaws now that I'm older is the impact left on pop culture. Also, it fascinates me just how gutsy of a project this became. This was made during a time when people took huge risks and worked within the confines of a budget and technical limitations of the early 1970s, rather than just throw money at it and say, we'll fix it in post, and use a bunch of lame CGI to fix problems. After watching both documentaries, it's very clear that the making of this movie was a nightmare that ended in a nervous breakdown for 27-year-old Steven Spielberg. Listening to the stories from the cast and crew, it obviously was that making this movie was a disaster all by itself, worthy of its own movie. And watching the original 1995 documentary, listening to Steven Spielberg talk about how the shark didn't work and he had a nervous breakdown and he had all these problems with storms and they never filmed anything on the actual ocean before, and this was the first, and you know the shark just constantly didn't work, and listening to these stories from Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider, I'm always thinking, you know, it'd be perfect if they made a movie about the making of Jaws, because nobody wants Jaws to ever be remade. I think we can unanimously agree that a remake of Jaws would be like the worst thing ever, but a movie about them actually making Jaws, where you have younger actors portraying like a young Steven Spielberg and a young Roy Scheider and a young Richard Dreyfuss, would be interesting. Universal, if you're listening to me, this is free, okay? I'm not asking for any money. I'm not asking for any credit. This is my pitch, all right? Make a movie about the making of Jaws. All I ask is hit a thumbs up on this video if you've seen it, and give me a follow. Give me a subscribe. I value subscribers more than I value actual money. So here's my pitch for a movie. Working title: The Shark Is Not Working. A comedy drama based on the making of Jaws. I say comedy drama because towards the end of the film, Steven Spielberg has a nervous breakdown. And I wouldn't joke about that. A lot of people thought they would be finished in the movie business after this. That doesn't mean we can't take one of the most disastrous movie shoots in cinematic history and make something very entertaining about it. After all, spoiler alert, it was a huge success. It was the original summer blockbuster. We won't see them shoot every damn scene, just some more of the memorable ones, and one of the ones that had most problems. Everyone got seasick, so there'll be a lot of puking in this one. I see no reason why this can't be a PG-13 movie. I could picture the trailer, playing some music from the early 1970s, Spielberg telling the producers he wants to film it in the ocean, and then them telling he's crazy. Montages of Bruce, the mechanical shark, not working. At one point, the boat was sinking and the crew on board. At another point, there was a food fight, and the trailer would end with John Williams playing the theme on the piano for Steven Spielberg for the first time, and Spielberg laughing, thinking that Williams is playing him a joke on him. I've never written an actual script. I've only ever come up with ideas and outlines for some sketch bits I've done in my own videos. I could give you some recommendations for directors. My first choice is Edgar Wright, just for comedic timing. This has to be a movie just shy of 3 hours, but needs to be fast-paced like Goodfellas. It can never slow down because the production of the actual movie was rushed already. So if not Edgar Wright, I'd say Todd Phillips, who did Joker and the Hangover movie. For Steven Spielberg, he needs to be young to get the point across that a kid with only one movie and some TV shows under his belt is in charge of this mess. First choice was Jesse Eisenberg, but he's about 36 now, so my second choice is Ty Sheridan, who has potential, and damn if he isn't a spitting image. This is a role screaming for Oscar potential. The Academy loves two things: depressing political message movies and actors who pretend to be other actors. For Robert Shaw, I'd pick nobody other than Robert Downey Jr. because Robert Downey Jr. has done comedy and can do accents. In this one, he has to be a slightly pretentious British actor pretending to be a New England fisherman hell-bent on killing sharks. Ben Schwartz not only looks exactly like Richard Dreyfuss, but Richard Dreyfuss is very funny and high energy. Schwartz is a little older than Dreyfuss was at the time, but with the beard and granny glasses, I doubt anyone notices. Josh Lucas doesn't look exactly like Roy Scheider, but he does have cadence to his voice that just begs for comedy. Roy Scheider is playing a retired NYPD officer pretending to be the Amityville chief of police, Martin Brody. Brody is out of his element, and so is Scheider, probably wishing he hadn't taken this role. I imagine Josh Lucas asking Spielberg rational questions during an insane shoot could be funny stuff. The key to pulling off Lorraine Gary's thick New York accent, I think Sienna Miller has spent enough time in the Big Apple to know the accent well enough to play Lorraine Gary, playing Ellen Brody. This might be a hard sell since this is probably the most coveted role in Jaws. Nobody can replace Murray Hamilton as Mayor Larry Vaughn. That being said, I would squeal like a schoolgirl to see Shea Wiggum wearing a suit with little anchors on it saying, "Amity, as you know, means friendship." No comedy drama about making of a movie can be funny without producers reacting to a young director they think might be going crazy. You need kind of scary guys with sour face looking at young Spielberg like he's nuts, or trying to talk him down off the ledge. I submit Ray McKinnon as Richard D. Zanuck and Jonathan Banks as David Brown. Steve Carell is a poor author, Peter Benchley, who has to keep changing his script to meet Spielberg's demands. Dennis Haysbert as Percy Rodriguez, the guy who narrated the classic Jaws trailer. Yes, the good hands with Allstate guy. This scene needs to happen because that trailer is iconic.
It is as if God created the devil and gave him Jaws.
John Lithgow as John Williams. It would be more of a cameo for the trailer, but mostly because John Lithgow is a funny actor who is also an accomplished musician and can play the piano. Age is going to be difficult here. John Williams was 43 while making the Jaws score. Lithgow is 74 at the making of this video. Don't care. Lithgow is great in everything. Another possible idea would have Richard Dreyfuss, who is about 73 during the making of this video, actually play John Williams. I want a scene where Williams is trying to convince Spielberg that his theme is not a joke. And it'd be a nice little cameo by Richard Dreyfuss. I don't care about the rest of the cast. Depends on how many scenes you want to recreate for the movie. You don't necessarily have to shoot this in Martha's Vineyard again, and you don't necessarily need to build an exact replica of Bruce. Even though fan geeks like me would love it, it just has to be believable, fun, and funny. People like watching movies about people making movies. Tropic Thunder, The Disaster Artist, Dolomite Is My Name were all hits. And all ages have seen this, so it should be a slam dunk. It would be fun. It would be a lot of fun, and it's not going to be a complete comedy because, Steven Spielberg had a nervous breakdown. I would never joke about something like a nervous breakdown, but you could have comedy where, it's comedy, but it's going to be serious at some points. But you already know that the movie has a happy ending because everybody knows Jaws went on to become like the original summer blockbuster. I mean, at one point, it was the most profitable movie ever made. So it has a happy ending. It's going to have a couple of serious moments, but I would think that directors would just chomp at the bit for something like this. You know what I mean? Like actors playing other actors is something that the Academy really loves, other than like depressing artsy-fartsy movies. They like watching actors play other actors or watching actors portray real people. That's like the role of a lifetime. I don't know a single director that would turn this down, but I think this movie would be a lot of fun. I really do. I think this is probably what Hollywood needs. Everybody loves movies about people making other movies. It's still very much, in the zeitgeist right now. People like watching disaster movies be made. The Disaster Artist, Tropic Thunder, Dolomite Is My Name. But what about a making of a movie that actually was a success and wasn't the disaster that everybody thought it would be? How cool is that? I'm really excited about it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. Please remember to depress that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you'll be the first to know when new content is published. Please visit raidersofthelostflicks.com for more hilarious entertainment and links to all of our social media platforms. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon. As little as $1 a month supports our worldwide digs for more Lost Flicks. Thank you, and have a groovy day.